Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NDA Podcast. I'm Rob Duenas, Sketchcraft, aka. So, what this is here, this is me. As always, I work on secret projects. For now, I'm working on Spawn Kills Every Spawn. It's a comic book series, mini series, coming out this summer. And I can't share what I'm working on because it just ruined all the fun, wouldn't it? So, we still like to stream around here. We like to hang out with y'all, right? And we like to see me draw. So, the solution is simple. Behind me, I'm going to put up some artwork that I did a few years back, sped up about 4 times, and it'll just loop while I work, and I rotate through the vids. Tonight, it's going to be Superior Spider-Man, the background. So let me put up Little Rob here. Let me get up Little Rob. There's Little Rob, turn off Big Rob. And then let's put this up. I'll give you some context. So this right here was a Copic marker illustration I did of Superior Spider-Man on traditional paper, a couple markers. I've scanned it in, removed the background, and then what I'm going to do is I did a roughie there. I'm going to add a digitally painted background with the traditionally painted character. That was the goal. Why did I do this? I don't know. I don't know why I did. Just wanted to see if I could. So that is a lasso tool grayscale city based off my sketch. Just lasso tooled some hard shapes. Looks a little 3D-ish, don't it? But it isn't. It's just Photoshop. Yeah, so you're going to see me working on that while I get to work on my actual work. Okay. If you have any questions, comments, anything, just leave them in the chat or in the comments below. Please be sure to like and leave a comment if you're on YouTube. The algos demand that you engage down there, or they ain't gonna show the videos, folks. So if you want to actually support me in any way, shape, or form, please just give me a wave, say hi, whatever you want. It can be negative. You can be like, this sucks, I don't get it. Like, it's fine. Just leave a comment and engage, and we'll all appreciate it. Oh, look, there's a 2099 I did. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna be working here for about 90 minutes. I gotta go clean down the kitchen and get to sleep. Be up around 5:30. 6 o'clock, somewhere around there. Busy, busy, busy. Time flying. I'm just telling you. Like, even no matter how much time I set aside. During the week, I do 10 hours a day. On the weekend, it gets closer to 6. I usually have to have like 4 hours in the middle of the day to help out around the house, dude. You know, errands, blah, 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 blah. So it's like making good progress for today, though. I'm definitely getting back up to full speed. I had some health issues these past few months. It just really cut into my productivity. I should be well into issue 5 by now, and I'm just wrapping up issue 4. It does happen. You know? I'm generally a pretty healthy person, but as always, we're all human. Eventually gonna get sick. So all good now. All good now. Definitely cut into my productivity. Come a long way with my work since I did these. You're seeing here. But the idea that I was doing with this background painting, you see, is I was going to do the whole thing in grayscale and value, black and white, and then use gradient maps to do the bulk of the coloring with lighting and effects sort of painted on top. That was sort of what I was doing. So I've grayed out the Superior Spider-Man because easier to not have a giant bright, you know, colored character in front of your face when you're doing that. I'm using the lasso tool just to sort of airbrush in basic spotlights and stuff. Funny, I'm looking at this now and I'm like, oh, I know how I'd make this way easier. But that's how you learn, you know. You can watch all the tutorials in the world and spend all the money on it, but at the end of the day, you're not really going to learn until you do it yourself. You find out what works for you. I would do this way more artistically at this point. Something more along the lines of dry pastel look and all of this sort of hyper rendered stuff. But yeah, I'm glad I gave it a shot. I'm glad I learned how to do some of these techniques to figure out if I actually wanted to incorporate them further into my art. Kind of don't. I would just draw the buildings now, and I would, you know, sort of use dry media or dry media brushes to sort of do this work. But there's some really good techniques in here, some tricks that I figured out how to do. And I was using gradient maps at a time when a lot of people weren't, so I think some of the artist friends of mine, I think it helped open their eyes to go, oh, you could do this, you could do that. I have seen people color like whole comics with just like 3-color, 4-color gradient maps, and I don't recommend that. But they're really great for getting a base down, Or if you're doing like maybe character rendering for a game studio and you need to like be able to swap out colors really quick, way great for that, for certain. Although I would just do my color scheme if they needed changes, use gradient maps to change the colors rather than color straight with it. But like I said, you will figure out what works for you. Not just artistically, but visually, like what you want to include in your own visual style, you know? How you want to represent yourself. Hey, that one guy. What's up, dude? It's been a while. That one guy. You want to help Rob out? Just drop that yo into the comments on YouTube. You'll help push this video. Little engagement. Tickle that algo, my friend. Tickle that algo. You will help the show go far. It's been a while, man. Good to see you. Jeff, are you drawing traditionally or digitally? Right now, here on the board, I'm drawing digitally. Right now. I do the final art for the comic digitally. There's so many details to add. I don't have... And I'm not a great traditional inker. My inks are more like sketches and stuff. But what I do is after the pages are all turned in, I print out the pages and do a traditional ink version. So I still have physical artwork. I used to just do the traditional first and then ink it digitally, but that cuts into time. So I gotta do it the other way around now. I will be streaming those as pages get revealed, right? So there's already some pages that have been revealed. So I think probably May or June, whenever they get the pre-order codes in, I'll start streaming that traditional art so we can promote the book. And you can pre-order it if you'd like to support me. And really support me. That one guy, oh, thank God I'm not crazy that my traditional inks look like sketches. Yeah. If you see like, remember if you saw my Batman Dark Knight or the Final Fantasy 7 or 9, that's pretty much how I like, you know, I just sort of draw with pens. I don't really ink work like Richard Friend does, or, you know, like a traditional inker. Not really. But digitally, I can get all that to look really good, so. Jeff asked me, you have a really cool style. How is it working with Todd? Oh, great. Todd's awesome, man. You know, he doesn't bug me too much, and he leaves me feedback. You know, I've had very little, you know, constructive criticism, but I have had some, and he really knows how to push you into the right direction. You know, like, so I'd say he's like a great coach. I've heard people say that before, so I'm just gonna steal that. He's like a great coach. Super good, man. When I had some emergency dental surgery I had to have done, he was like, "Oh, bud, you know, we should talk sometime." You know, I guess he went through some dental issues in the past, and he was super supportive. So, you know, it's like, yeah, he's a good dude, man. You know, I can't complain. You know, super good. It is crazy when, you know, I get emails from Tom McFarlane. Like, I'm like, check that one off the bucket list, you know. Jeff asks, how did he find you? I'd love to hear that story. It's not glamorous. It's not glamorous. So I'll pad it out a little bit. So back in 2017, 2017, Brandon, who's on the show last night, was a buddy of mine. At the time, I was giving him sketches. He was getting like commissions, and so I would do like the base sketch for him to do because he was having a hard time with proportions and figure work and stuff. And so I had a bunch of these different like characters, and I had a Bane one, and I really liked the way it looked. And I said, you know, Brandon, I love you, but I'm gonna keep this one for me, right? I think this shape is really good. This design, this idea is really good, and I kind of want to save this one for me. I'll whenever I get around to it, I'll get around to it. He's like, all right, no big deal. So, it sat there till about 2021, 22, right? Around 2021. I finally sat down and illustrated it. I did a digital and traditional version of it and put it up everywhere, like on Instagram, whatnot. Not whatnot, figure of speech, but on Instagram. And Todd just sent me a DM saying, hey man, I love your work. This Bane is great. Would you like to come draw a Spawn book for us? You know, I was like, I mean, I checked to see if it was him. It was him, man. So it took a little while to get that going. You know, like he initially was going to write it, and there was a little bit of a delay, but I sat basically here for almost 6 months just sending him and the editorial team over there. I just kept drawing Spawn stuff, right, and sending it over. And then they finally were like, all right, well, all right, kid, you know, stop sending us stuff, you know, like, so they hired a writer and we got going, you know, basically it. So I always tell people, like, I don't have the biggest following on socials. I mean, I got a pretty good following on Facebook, but, you know, they limit your engagement. On Instagram, it's like 40,000 followers, but it's been that way for almost several years now. It hasn't grown at all. But you don't need a lot of people following you. You need like one good person. I don't know why it keeps shifting over to that picture of me, my icon. I think I was talking to Brandon. What's going on there? That is so weird. What is this? Is it stuck? It can't be stuck. I'm gonna give this a minute or two, folks, and if this doesn't work, then I'll just switch it over to the Copic marker illustration. This is weird. Instagram sucks. Yeah, they limit your reach, dude, and I don't understand how, because they use the amount of people and the amount of people following people to sell ads, you know? What is going on there? What is that? See, I was using Google Hangouts when I recorded this. It's not going to do that the whole video, is it? All right, that's annoying me. Jeff says, that's awesome. I would shit myself. Like, I know. I remember telling people, hey, I got an email from... All right, I got to go back to this video and cut this stuff out in Premiere. It's not going to stop, is it? All right, let me switch a video. Whatever's going on there, I don't like it. We're just going to switch to Superior Spidey Copic markers, okay? And then I will fix that and put this one back up tomorrow. I don't know what that is, but we're not going to make people watch that. Glad I left the window up. Sometimes I move the window over when I'm drawing so I don't have to stare at that, but whatever that was. But I still post, man. I post, guys, regardless of what I may think of a social media platform, the only one that I refuse to post on is X, because I find the owner of that site to be fucking Nazi. Other than that, they all sort of suck in their own way. But I still post on my DeviantArt. I still post on Instagram. I still put stuff on the YouTube and the Twitch and on my ArtStation and stuff. I do all that stuff because art directors and they still look there, you know? They still look there. So they still look there. So all you need to do is find one person who can cut a check, you know? It's kind of like what you need to do. Yeah, 2 streams in one day. Well, here's the thing, man. I work like 10 hours a day, and I plan on streaming most of the time, folks. So, you know, the only reason why I hadn't before is I didn't want to sit here with a video of just my face. But now that I've got this down, we good to go. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I will fix it. I will fix it. Yeah, but sometimes I get an email that's like, that was amazing, dude. You know, and I'm just like, that's crazy. Crazy to hear, you know? So 15-year-old Rob would be very, very pleased with me. All I got to do now is just get caught up. I told you, I got a little behind. We are making good progress. We are getting there. Lucas says, yeah, you've been streaming a lot. I'm usually busy. Ah, gotcha. Yeah. I got 10 years worth of videos. So, you know, like, I got a lot of old art I can stream. In fact, I need to remember. And hopefully in a week or two, I'll be in a position where I can start to stream. We can do live art again. You know? But I can't do any of that until I'm caught back up. You know, just from I just can't. I won't feel right about it. Good dude. I know there's like a lot of people have opinions, but I'm like, look, he went out of his way and found me, you know, sight unseen. Just, hey, you want a shot, you know? So it's like, all I'm saying is, I'm not drawing this book like it's a job. I'm drawing this book like it might be the last thing I ever draw, you know? So you're gonna get your money's worth out of me. Luke says, if I could meet any artist, it'd be between him and Mike Mignola. Well, Mike is dope too. I really love his Batman stuff, you know. First few Hellboys. Really huge fan of Dracula, Cosmic Odyssey, that era. That really influenced me when it came out. Jeff says, what tablet do I use? You love the iPad. Yeah, I have an iPad. I don't really love it so much. Mostly, I don't know, there's a couple reasons. I think that the first being, it's not big enough for me. I draw with my whole arm. iPad screen is just not big enough. So I use a Cintiq 22-inch HD no touch with the classic pen thinner. And that big old marker thing. So yeah. I wish I did like the iPad. It means I could do this anywhere, right? But such is life. I tried the newer one out at the Apple store because my buddy bought the newer one. He says, dude, it feels different, man. You might like it, you know? He felt the same way about me, but I'm like, I need a bigger screen, man. I can't get past the screen side, you know? I grew up drawing on a drafting table. Like, can't go back to drawing on like little tiny bubble bump. It's tough enough for me when I have to do sketch covers. I'm like, oh shit, the art. You know, it's tiny. And I won't lie, you know, like, it's a little bit more difficult as you get older to draw on smaller areas. So digitally it's nice because I can just work at whatever size I want. I don't mind coloring at a small whatever. Coloring is fine. Drawing it's like I've been using Cintiq since 2008. So it's like Jeff says I have the 12.9, but would love to have much better. Wish Max would support Procreate. Yeah. I don't really need the Apple Pencil where you use the side of it, you know? It doesn't really help my drawing process. Like, it's fun when I'm using color pencils and stuff, but this gets, I just like the limited pen nib, you know? Kind of draw in a more technical, like a mechanical pencil kind of way, you know? When it comes to drawing, it just sort of gets in the thing. I've always preferred the basic kind of mechanical pencil style. And anyway. Yeah, I have the 12 by 0.9, but like I said, it's just I just start to get cramps with the Apple Pencil. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. You know? It says, when is your comic for Todd coming out? July this summer. This summer. We're going to do 5 issues. Starts this summer. And thank you, by the way. Thank you for definitely considering that. I appreciate it. It did not work. Ah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not up yet, but you know, it will be. I just know it's fly. Plus, hey, that's why I'm trying to promote. You know what I mean? I can't promote like the week before. I got to get out there early. So, you know, being locked behind, you know, being locked off from the world is not a good way for me to promote my work. That's why we doing this. Spawn kills every spawn. Yes, spawn kills every spawn. Yes, sir. I'm currently drawing a gigantic 2-page spread for issue 4. Need chrome. Luckily, I drew a shitload of chrome, like, stuff when I was doing Monstroids back in the day. How to get cat look down in ink. There's just so many things that, like, I'm like, oh, I've never done that before. Glad I read all those issues of Wetworks back in the day. I knew it'd pay off. Yeah. Jeff says, an off topic, what do you feel about AI art? Oh man. I feel like AI art dominates every conversation on every stream. You know, it's really simple. I did licensed t-shirts from 2005 to 2015, so good 10 years, okay? And in t-shirts, you know, you can either draw stuff from scratch or use the style guides. And sometimes people use those style guides and they put it in their portfolios if they drew the art. They didn't do the art. They did the t-shirt design. Which is why I always show my process. Which is why I always show how I arrived at something. You know, because not only are you going to have to replicate what you do, you're going to have to be able to do it again and again and again and flip it. People need changes, they need new stuff. You know, but there's always some person who comes into an art department, a sales rep, art director, somebody who wants to find a way to get things done 3 times faster. Instead of doing 20 shirts a week, they want everyone to do 50 or 60 or 100 shirts a week. But at the end of the day, you're still only selling 1 shirt to Walmart. Doesn't matter. And I've literally seen them show 300 designs to Walmart just to sell the same one spot. I was like, maybe if we had put more effort, you know, and more refinement into our designs versus shoving everything in front of their face, you know, we could have conjured up something they wouldn't have thought of. So at the end of the day, if people want to create a bunch of stuff, they will find a way to create a bunch of stuff cheaply and quickly and effortlessly as possible. But I don't do it. I don't do it. Miyazaki just won the Oscar. You think Boy and the Heron got done overnight quickly? You know? No. No. And the more people fall down that path, the more I'm inclined to go slower. I got a friend, man, like, he used to paint signs, you know, like on storefronts and stuff back in the mid-90s. And then, you know, he switched to digital and did all this graphic design, built web pages, all this stuff. And finally, this past year or so, he just finally quit all of it, went back to doing signs. I think there's more money in it, so, you know, people want real stuff. They don't want some manual, they just want a really handcrafted thing on their storefront. So I think about that, you know. You feel AI will replace concept design. It's going to replace somebody, but when we tell you what will happen, like anything else, man, they're just going to get a more of what everyone else has. See, what people do is they look at. We saw this with like guys who would just use elements to build shirts. Is up front you're looking at something with a lot of detail, but if you scale back and you see all of the AI art, you're going to see they all look the same. There's no variety, none of it. And everyone can make the same exact thing, which means everyone will make the same exact thing. So, good luck with that. Mm-hmm. It will until it won't, you know? I'm not really worried about it. Mm-hmm. I was told 3D movies were going to replace 2D animators, but what just won the best? What just won an Oscar? You know, Spider-Verse, a lot of 2D elements in there. You know, Pinocchio was a stop motion animated film. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it, dude. You know, I feel bad for the artists that are going to get stuck, like slot machine their art. You know, they're going to be sitting around there endlessly hoping it gives them something they want versus just getting on with making what you need to make. That nothing's going to change that. Like, at the end of the day, you got to get exactly what you need down, and you have to know what it is you want, and hitting a button and typing some stuff in and hoping for the best is not going to, it's not a good long-term plan. We've already seen in the EU this week, the EU is forcing these companies to show where they get their data sets, and you know, they're going to say, eventually they have to say it came from all these people's art. And, you know, that's that. But it's like I already lived through t-shirt apocalypse, and I lived through the game magazine apocalypse, where it was like websites just totally destroyed. YouTube basically destroyed magazines. It wasn't websites. YouTube. So it's like, you know, you'll have to reinvent yourself. I stick to drawing things that define me as a person. I draw in a way that look at Akira Toriyama. He drew his way, and the art looks like his. You gotta make art that identifies with you, you know, so people look at it and see you. Companies hate that. They want you to fit their mold because they want to be a brand or something. But AI will replace branded people who just, you know, that will get replaced by AI. But your own identity, no. If it didn't come from you, then they're not going to care. You know, and I triple down on my traditional artwork, you know. Color pencil, watercolor, fine. You know. Yeah, well, that's not something I could comment on because I got nothing to do with it, you know. I feel sorry for anyone who can't just creatively show who they are. You know, and I've been dealing with this a long time, dude. This is nothing new. You know, oh, can it be done in seconds? Sure, but it used to be done maybe in an hour. It's not that big a difference. But people, I feel sorry because it's like the most rewarding thing is when you've made something. And if you're denying yourself, you know, the journey, then you're not going to appreciate the destination. You know, it's a sad way to live. And remember, Jeff, life is short no matter how long you live, right? How do you want to spend it? So that's why I like Procreate. You can always prove the process. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know because it records everything, but at the same time, and I mean, you can prove the process by fact of just having, you know, posted it. You know, like posting your work or having a file or whatever. I just show everything. You know, I show everything. Always shown everything. You know, I believe in it, and it's because, you know, in t-shirts, you know, like there's just so many artists who they just steal. They constantly steal. They may move a shirt design around onto another body and then claim ownership of that design. So it's like, all right, this art's in your portfolio, but what did you do? You know. I mean, is it the most fun thing to sit over here and draw a bunch of chrome lines? No. But at the same time, I can be proud of the fact that I did that. I mean, look at all the stuff Todd used to noodle in this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I told him, I'm like, dude, my favorite thing he ever did was that last issue of Spider-Man, the World Trade Center fight. You know, like, I redrew that issue line for line, not trade, like looking and redrawing in high school several times. You know, the Cannonball page was always my favorite. The amount of energy coming out of Cannonball, he flies around. So good to me. You know, and the cartooning, my favorite thing he ever did. Like, if he had not done that himself, I just don't know why anyone would not want to actually, you know. But I get there's people who do that. Sad. It just feels sad for them. I've been noticing a lot of AI artists at cons. I don't blame those scumbags. I blame the promoters much. Yeah, well, you know, they haven't really been checking people's booths ever, really. You know, all those guys. I caught someone selling my own artwork at a con 2 tables from me down once before. You know, they go over there and go, "You want to take my art down, buddy?" So, you know, I stopped going to conventions a long time ago, 2017. Yeah, it's messed up. Yo, what's up, Mario? I was streaming a different video, but a digital background for this, but I don't know, it was glitching or something, so switch it over to the Copic. It's a shame. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. Not right now, I gotta work. I've got a couple saucies. Some older saucies, but that's it. Some of it I don't really even like, but I'll stream it, like whatever. You know, I made it, may as well stream it, even if I don't like it. Don't like the Spider-Man pick in the background? No, 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 no. I'm not talking about that. There's some other stuff. This came out great. I don't have any problems with how this came out. I was just talking about, I got some other stuff. I'm like, I don't really like this, but I'll stream it. Like, whatever. Chat. You know what's supposed to turn on with this? Let's turn on the filter. It's a little dark. Okay. That actually is what it looked like. My bad. The lighting in my room wasn't that great, so I used filters to get it back to what it actually did look like. I just had to turn it off for the other video because the other video was screen capture. Forgot. Got the big creature down. You know. The Dino is done, dude. I actually have water. You know what? I wonder if I deleted some stuff. Which is why I always have. I save a new version at every stage, so if I delete stuff, I can go back and grab it. This is if you had discovered Carlos Maglia. Oh, awesome. So glad to hear that. Well, I mean, Carlos was a big inspiration for me. Right. But other artists that inspire me, Bengal is high on that list. He just got a new comic out called Napalm Lullaby, which I picked up. Right? Bengal is great. He actually sent me a sketch a couple years ago. He's a good dude. Big fan of Bengal. Bengal. I'm a big fan of Yonan Vasquez, Bill Watterson, Oliver Vatine. Oliver Vatine is a brilliant artist. And check out his stuff. He drew like the Heir to the Empire comics back in the day. He still works now. He did a brilliant issue of Hellboy a year or so ago. I think last year. It was super good. Great shape design. Fantastic illustrator. And he's on Facebook too. I follow him there. John Samavaria is great, also known as Reggie. Samavaria. If I'm saying that right. I never know. John's great. He did Neverlanders recently. I mean, he's done stuff forever. Super good. Hey, what's up, Andy, man? Thank you. Megan Hetrick, her stuff is great. Megan's great. I know Megan. She's awesome. We used to both work at Ape Entertainment back in the day. She's doing fantastic work. Figure illustration. She did some great cartooning. She did the big promo piece for that Aquaman cartoon. She's great. Todd's gonna get mad that I didn't say him. Oh, come on. I'm drawing a Todd style Spidey. How is that not inspiring? Yeah. I thought you meant artists you probably never heard of. You want me to tell you artists you already know? All right. Here's an artist you probably don't know the name off the top of your head. Bill Ray. He did the backgrounds for like SpongeBob and Ren and Stimpy. Currently on Primal. Brilliant illustrator. Brilliant illustrator. He, you know. I thought Primal was over though. They did 2 seasons. I don't know what they're doing next. I could never pull off Todd's inking. So it's like, I'm influenced by his cartooning shapes, like, you know, the kind of overall tone and energy, but I could never do that noodling. I told him, like, you know, I can't do that, right? Like, I'm not good at that. He's like, oh, no problem, bud. Do whatever you want. You know, that is beyond me. Just don't think like that. Wish I did. I could get a lot more work done on it. Just do really rough sketches and finish it off like that. I don't have that level of talent. Megamar says Gendy did that unicorn thing. I'm not sure what else. Maybe, yeah. But I mean, like, that unicorn thing is kind of, it's not quite we're all looking, right? Not quite what we're thinking. Oh, you know Bill Ray, all right. Do you know Simon Loche? Loche? I think he moved to DreamWorks eventually, but in the early 2000s, he did some great books. Robin Hood, the European book, really good. Andy says, yo, just want to say congrats on Berserk Boy. Looks like the project was hella rad to work on. Would love to work on something like that. Big one. Thanks, Andy. Yeah, it was super fun. You may just have to make your own project like that. Because no one was paying Zoo to do that. You know what I mean? You had to make that happen. That was super hard to get done. So I have a lot of super proud of Zoo and the whole crew. Jeff says, your style is so much more clean and cartoony. Tom's cartoony, but a bit more dark with both. Yeah, well, he adds all the noodling. I mean, he has that Terry Austin. It's kind of like a Terry Austin inking style, like on steroids, right? So my stuff is closer to Miglia, you know, in that respect. Maybe it's not intentional, but I've gotten Bachalo, you know, like modern Bachalo. Even though I was more of a fan of the Buckingham Inks version of Bachalo, you know? But I probably think I naturally draw more like modern Bachalo. Really weird. He's a dope artist. I'll take the compliment. Jeff Smith was a big influence on me too. I mean, so you know, in high school, I bought 3 books whenever they came out. I bought Spawn, I bought Savage Dragon, I bought Bone. Those were the 3 I got, and I made sure I didn't eat lunch, saved my lunch money if I had to get those 3 books. So, and I read Calvin and Hobbes every week and saved would save the strips. Bill Watterson's a huge influence on me. For certain. Yeah. Bacalo or Bacalo, however. Tim Sale was a big influence on me too. Mignola. The cartoonists. I'm a cartoonist, you know? I remember the first time I saw Humberto Ramos' art, it was in the 1993 Comic-Con. The X-Men had the 30th anniversary in that. He did a fan art piece of the X-Men. I'm like, this guy's a great artist. Who is this? Humberto Ramos. And then I noticed like a year later when the Impulse comic came out, I noticed his name. I'm like, that's the dude who did that X-Men piece. I own a piece of Humberto's art from when he did Ash. Right there. It's a dinosaur of all the damn things. I just realized that I own the dinosaur piece from Ash. Ash and Cinder. That Ramos did. And I'm drawing a dinosaur. That's hilarious. Didn't dawn on me till now. It's sitting right above me. Not a fan of Larson's work. I like it. I buy a Savage Dragon every month. That Cap story he did, that single shot was dope too. Yeah, Joe Mad's great. Could never draw like Joe Mad. Some people go, you draw like Joe Mad. I'm like, I'm not good enough, man. You know, like I've tried and I've been like, I can't do this. This is, you know, too good. And I was a huge fan of Jason Pearson's work, even though, you know, he's a troubled soul when he was alive, but I really loved his work. Whoa. And I know his name is verboten because horrific what he did, but when I was younger, Chris Felucci was a huge influence, like art-wise. Ren and Stimpy was the only cartoon I ever watched with my mom where she'd laugh, you know. So, you know, but you know, he went and ruined all his goodwill. So, sucks. A lot of other people worked on that cartoon. Bill Ray, Bob Camp, Robin. Yeah. So many. Now I need to add smoke in the background. Never enough, is it? Never enough. Okay. But like I said, if I had to name just one artist I feel the closest kinship to, and just the way I think and design, it'd be Miglia. I think Miglia is the closest. But yeah, that's how I think. I know you never got that popular here in the States, but it's a real shame. The dude, so brilliant. Yeah. 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 His Tarzan, Superman Tarzan was great. Star Wars stuff was brilliant. Bullshit. He's why I walk 3 miles in the morning every day just in case. I mean, I'm not saying it caused his death, but you know, heart attack at 50. Anything I can do to avoid it, you know. What made me stop doing conventions in 2017? Financially, it made 0 sense. I sold nothing, you know, and I was mostly making any money doing commissions, and I just didn't see the point in spending $1,000 to go somewhere to make 200, 300, 500 bucks in commissions. I could just stay home. So. Just doesn't make any sense. I have no name. No one's going to the con to see me. So they're sort of discovering me. And then it's like you have to do this giant print game. And it's like, I just can't compete with someone's willing to put up 83 shitty prints, you know, to my, you know, dozen, you know, or 2 dozen ones that took me like 100 hours each to do, you know, I packed them with stuff. People just, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Did you not sell prints? Not much, no. 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 I sold prints. I'd bring everything with me, but I wouldn't sell much of anything. It wasn't just 1 year, it was like 3 consecutive years. So it's like, and I went with booths and I had the whole bit, and you know, and I did everything you could do, but it was like, I just don't resonate with these people. Like, whatever I'm doing, you know, there's almost, I was saying last night, normally there's an algorithm for cons, and I don't do well. So what's the point? I've already attended conventions as a pro, you know, like I fulfilled all my little childhood fan. It's fine. I don't need to do this. You know, sometimes it's sad because I'll meet someone who goes, "Man, I'd love to meet you," and I'm like, "Hey, well, come on the stream," you know. Can't shake someone's hand through a screen. Well, you know what? I saved us both from getting the measles or something. How about that? So when the book comes out, I'm going to do a signing at my local comic shop. That's about it. So if you're in the Boise area, come July, you can come meet me there. Plain cons, man. You know, like they just don't. As Idaho? Yeah, I know. I know. Although funny enough, when we first moved here, my wife was working at this at the Sensi headquarters. She was a business IT analyst, and they had a giant commissary area, you know, like a giant cafeteria, and really nice stuff there. And apparently, this kid that worked down there was talking to her. She was wearing something I had done. He goes, oh, that's Sketchcraft. You know Sketchcraft? She's like, yeah, I'm married to him. He was like, what? So I came down there and was able to meet a fan. Of all places. How about that? Weird, right? Small world. Yeah, I worked a Savage Dragon cameo into issue 1. It's in the convention scene. You can sort of see I put your Savage Dragon, the Spawn version, Dragon Spawn. Then I had all their fans wearing dragon hats. And I even had I had Dragon Spawn drawing a commission at the table, and I had him drawing it with the same way Larson holds his pencil. It was an interesting thing to draw. Put in the leaves. The leaves. So many leaves. Wait till you guys see it. You'll see what I'm talking about. So many leaves. $3.90. Mhm. It says, great chatting with you. Keep up the great work. Hey, thanks, Jeff. Don't be a stranger. Appreciate it. I got 10 more minutes. Yeah, this is definitely probably the most complicated layout in the entire 4th issue. Sometimes I'm even like, why did I do this to myself? Well, it's 10:30, right? I can't tell. Yeah, it's 10:30, so. Well, all I gotta do is some texturing, and I got 3 small panels to do tomorrow, and these 2 pages are done. So I am almost back to full peak. I think this week I should be able to get back to 3 pages from 2. I initially told him 2, you know, but I've been up in the detail. So, and not drawing every brick, just I just think, you know, when there's supposed to be destruction and mayhem, or, you know, a really great city shot, you should get that. It shouldn't just be, you know, implied. My 2 cents on it. But yeah, we're doing good here. I get this done tomorrow, and then it might take me, honestly, this one page, it's gonna set me back. This one page is probably gonna take me for Wednesday to do. I don't know if I'll hit 3 pages. The other 2 pages are pretty easy, but I don't know. Some complicated stuff. Not just heads talking. Otherwise, you know, it's the big action bits with tons of characters. Like, all right, how long will it? We'll see. Sometimes I get ahead of it, but the next page is one of those I can't goof it up. Well, Todd believes every page should have a shape to it. I've tried to adhere to that while still doing what I do, you know? Because when the boss tells you, hey, you know, you should try doing this, I definitely want to give it that go. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know how to just, you know, we do what we do. But all right, man. I gotta figure out what's going on with that other video, but thanks for hanging out, and I'm gonna get that other video fixed for tomorrow for certain. See you all guys later. Thank you for hanging out, everybody. Super appreciate it. Also, don't forget to leave a comment if you're on the YouTubes. It really helps. Really helps. Gotta say yo, doesn't really matter what you say. You know. Take any one of the statements you made here and just paste it in there. You don't have to type them. Alright? Alright guys, I gotta go. Thanks. Peace.